Hello everyone and welcome to Watching Time. Today we're going to discuss about a topic of interest to some, maybe not to everybody. So we're going to talk about Swatch. Which obviously remembers you a lot about watch. The Swatch group, which is probably one of the biggest groups in horology at the moment. Their main brand is actually, and the one that actually we have to thank for not completely disappearing the Swiss made watches and movements, especially ETA movements that today we see, is actually the brand Swatch. So the Swatch group is a big group and you have different obviously brands inside, and they all have in common the same owner, if you want to put it on another way, the same holding, and this is Swatch. And you have among different brands, you have Longines, you have Lanvin, you have Omega, even if they don't state it a lot. You have also other small brands, and at the end, like Tissot, Midot, and all the Hamilton, also the Hamilton group. So as you can see, many of the main Swiss-made watches that you will see around are produced and managed by the Swatch group. And the brand that obviously make it all was Swatch. And how and what did Swatch made? It was obviously during the 80s and the 90s, and with the recession of the quartz, the owner of Swatch decided to create a watch that was wearable, that was also a fashion statement, that was cheap, so that it made Swiss-made accessible to many consumers, and at the same time to be unique. So, and I really think they managed to do that, because if you see nowadays what are the brands like that are more connected to fashion, like I can say Calvin Klein, or I don't know, Daniel Wellington, if you want to name some of them, and even Timex, even it has a horology history that is behind. All of them, they are just following the fashion trends. They tend to follow other big brands, so they tend to do a lot of homage, and they don't have really an identity. It's just a piece of timekeeping that it's cheap. Sometimes it costs much more. There are some higher fashion brands that do also watches, like Hugo Boss. I will never buy a Hugo Boss, sorry guys. It's a fashion watch. It's not a watch by any chance. Guess also comes to mind. It doesn't have an identity at all. I even can say, and say from that list probably Fossil, because it has an identity. You know what to expect with Fossil. The same big chunky watches, cheap Swiss, sometimes Swiss-made quartz, most of them, yes, but it's still a Fossil recognizable, and the leather obviously that you recognize from Fossil. On the other ones, you have nothing to recognize about, and they are just copies of something else, somehow bringing you a fashion statement, bringing you some colors, bringing you an accessory. That's it. Swatch, on the other hand, maybe they started the whole fashion watch, let's say, hobby or fashion, statement, but at the end, they are recognizable. They have a design that is unique. They have been using the same material for many years. They saved the whole Swiss-made community, because that's the other truth. Swatch became a boom during the 80s. It was everywhere. All around the world, you can find a Swatch. They were cheap. They were water resistant. You can swim with them. Obviously, in terms of quality of the materials used, I have always considered Swatch to be biodegradable. They don't last forever, and this is what you will expect. If you're lucky with some of the later Irony or some titanium also models that they produce, maybe there's something different. But initially, the Swatch made of plastic, they are not made to resist time. And you will see that 80 watches nowadays, they have lost color. The plastic on the bracelets usually breaks. That's normal. And many other things that happen. Swatch has also been a statement of quartz. So they are one of the main brands in the Swatch group that uses mainly quartz. But coming back to the Swatch statement. So today here we have 3 pieces that are very interesting. These are the swatches that I have in my collection. Yes, I also have some of the old ones, but it's more of a nostalgia kind of thing, because when I was a child, I was using Swatch. My first, and this is what I also remember, the first watch that actually got me into watch collecting today, and I will forever recognize this to Swatch, was a Swatch that was given to me when I was around 7 years of age. And I remember it clearly. And I remember that I felt like I was one of the cool guys having a Swiss-made watch. It was colorful. It was full of colors. Obviously, it was the 80s and early 90s. You can expect something that is colorful. Luckily, we are not. We are seeing some of those things again. But anyway, we go back to what they are main producing today, and Swatch today you have several models, different quality, different colors, different sizes. You have chronos, you have quartz, normal, date, and hour. You have only hour, like this one, also with a date, yes. And then you have collaborations, you have limited editions, you have interesting colors, and you also have automatics. What's interesting to say about the automatics of Swatch? First of all, that they are cheap. Oh my God, that they are cheap compared to other automatic movements. But second of all, is that they made a second revolution in watch history, and that's the one of mass producing fully automated automatic mechanism. So even if the Swatch groups owns a colossal in terms of movements like ETA, they still, for Swatch, they produce a movement that is Swiss made and it's 100 machine produced, up to the point that it's not a mechanism that you can repair. It's impossible to repair it because it's molded. Each piece is molded together. So obviously, even in this sense, even in the automatic movement era, they are still biodegradable. and this is the funny thing about Swatch. You don't expect a watch that lasts forever. And you cannot expect that for the price that you're going to pay. So at the end, it's something that it has become iconic. So we go back to the iconism of watches. I will never put Swatch together with a fashion brand. It's not a fashion brand, but at the same time, it's probably the Swatch firm that created fashion watches. So going back to the pieces that I have today here for us to review and to have a look at. So personally, as I was saying, the latest ones, the newest ones, I have one other that is not here, which is the Fly Magic. For some of you that know about it, Fly Magic was the first collaboration, and with Audemars Piguet, Swatch developed a new spring that it's produced with a titanium alloy, different from others, obviously, and they created this Fly Magic model that was a limited edition, 500 pieces per color, launched in 2019. So it's very rare. I like it. It's very swatchy. It's big. It's chunky. But that's okay. This is Swatch. I don't expect to have a Speedmaster. For a Speedmaster, I have Omega. I don't have Swatch. So let's go back to the more classical traditional models. Particularly, I like the collaboration that they have been doing with Hodinkee. I remember it was the first Hodinkee that I got. They have actually, I think, released 3 Hodinkees. The first Hodinkee that I got was last year. I was in New York, in Manhattan at the time, and I just happened to be there at the right time, in the right moment, where they launched it in the Swatch Times Square shop. So I managed to get one of these the day of the release. Very lucky. And I really love it because it's, it's a Swatch, but at the same time, it reminds me of a vintage diver. It reminds me of a Tudor. It reminds me of a Rolex. And I really think they got something going on that was quite interesting with Hodinkee here. The first edition that they went with Hodinkee is a blue color swatch. It's a little bit different, but I really like this one, the black one. So I was really lucky. It never came to Europe, so I was one of the lucky ones to get one of these. They obviously resell for much more than the premium price that was paid at the moment for the limited edition. It's very well done, but it's still plastic. The silicone that they use in the bracelets, it's a little bit texture, kind of a fabric feel of it. Still, it's a swatch, and I really love the design. So when I wear it, I feel that it's different from the others, but at the same time, it's something that that is a good. And it has a System 51 movement, obviously. So this is the automatic movement, and I like automatic movement. You can watch it. It's color. It's a fun watch. Okay, so we are not talking about a Vacheron Constantin. We're talking about a swatch, and I think they have managed to perfectly nail the market. Here we have, just for comparison, one of my other swatch that was a gift that I received. It's very fun. It's very summer. I wear it usually when I go to the beach. Bicolor rubber bracelet, not rubber, silicone. Plastic case, big numbers, very visible, a nice green seconds hand and date wheel. So this is that's the problem with quartz. You have to change the batteries, something that I don't like to do. And the last one that I got today, and I'm just going to show you guys, this is the new Hodinkee collaboration, and this time it actually came to Europe. So I received an alert from my Swatch group club, and as you can see, it has all the Hodinkee here, H around the rotor. The System 51 has something very nice in particular in terms of the mechanism. Yes, it's fabric, automatically made by robots, that's okay, but at the same time you have a rotor that is transparent, so it lets you see fully the movement, and it's only peripheral, the part that you see that is going to move. So in this case, the Hodinkee was online. I managed to book one of these. It took a little while to get to my local swatch shop, but I managed to get one of the Hodinkee limited editions. And I really like the color. It's a different tone of green, definitely to the one that I have. I like the thing that I have done in the dial. Deep blue. You have pink dots. Probably you don't see it very well in the camera, but it's pink, small dots like the Datejust from a couple of years ago. Blue, Roman numbers on top, Arabic numbers in the bottom. You have a date here in the bottom, automatic written. You have a very nice light green color lume that has been placed in these white hands. And then you have obviously this lime green seconds hand. I think the color is fun. I really like the design that they have done on this Hodinkee. It's different. It's more, if you want to put it on some way, swatch tradition. So it looks much more like a normal swatch, but at the same time with a very nice tone. This is less swatch. There are little swatches that look similar to this one. This looks actually like something else. So these are the two Hodinkee limited editions, 2020, 2019. Very nice in colors, and it shows the statement of Swatch, of becoming also a partner to do collaborations with other brands. I'm just going to show you guys a little bit about the box. Usually I was very used to have the Swatch boxes that are transparent plastic, and I was quite surprised. This is a nice surprise if you want to be more eco-friendly, that inside this box you have actually a cardboard made watch case. Very interesting. It's all fully made of cardboard, so I think it's fully degradable. Yes, definitely. Yeah, job done, recycle or compost me. So it's actually, you can actually compost this. This is very fun, huh? Swatch using materials that you can actually are eco-friendly. I think also the box. Then obviously you have the manual, blah blah blah. the usual things, and then the warranty. So guys, I think this is pretty much for now. This was a long video, sorry about this. If you don't want to see the full 50 minutes, you can always go back in time. And I hope you like it. If you have any questions on the swatch or any opinions, please drop it. Please click on like, click on the ring bell if you want to have some information and updates when I do new videos. So see you soon all. Bye bye.